Britain is reeling tonight from another shocking child sex abuse scandal, one that exposes the grooming of hundreds of young girls in an area west of London, and a massive failure by authorities to act. Prime Minister David Cameron is promising sweeping reforms to prevent a repeat. Catherine Cullen in London has the details for us. Catherine.
Peter, the sheer number of potential victims is sickening. Over a decade and a half, as many as 373 girls may have been abused. Britain's Prime Minister says the sexual abuse of children should be considered a national threat. The girls targeted in Oxfordshire were as young as 11, often vulnerable, already in contact with the child welfare system, but that didn't save them. This woman says the abuse started when she was 13. She says her mother complained to the authorities about it.
My mother would say she's been with older males, she's come back, she's been beaten up, she's been injected with heroin. That was not enough for them to do anything about it. We were just troublesome girls.
In guest houses like this, gangs of men gave the girls drugs and alcohol and raped them. They were also used as prostitutes.
Do you deny?
7 men have already been convicted of a litany of charges, but those cases involved 6 girls. This report says over 15 years, more than 370 may have been abused. The author says authorities didn't willfully neglect cases of abuse, but signs of trouble were often dismissed as the girls being difficult.
There were repeated missed opportunities and many mistakes were made.
Authorities have already made changes, including working together to try to identify children at risk. But it's just one of several galling cases. Take the review last August of what happened in the community of Rotherham. It found that over a decade and a half, some 1,400 children may have been sexually exploited.
Young girls, and they are young girls, being abused over and over again on an industrial...
The British Prime Minister says teachers and social workers who don't do enough to protect children ought to face up to 5 years in prison.
It's wrong, and it has to be, we have to be intolerant of it and not walk on by, as happened in too many cases in the past.
It can already be difficult to find social workers, and some people argue that the threat of prison time is just going to scare more people away from the job. David Cameron's reply that when professionals fail, there have to be consequences. Peter?
Catherine Cullen in London tonight. Thanks, Catherine.